What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bit of Everything podcast, episode 3. You are here with Ratish and me.
Awesome.
What are we talking about today, Ratish?
Today, I was thinking we could talk about year in review because, it's close to the end of the year. And I was thinking we could just kind of go back and just kind of review the year and maybe talk about our goals for 2019, predictions of 2019. And, also just keep it light, talk about like some movies that came out this year, things that we think will happen next year in regards to that stuff. So,
Cool.
yeah, just trying to start that conversation. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking we could start with just how the year went. How did 2019 go? 2018 go for you, Tom?
It was good. It always feels weird at the end of the year because it feels like it went so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even remember what I was doing in like February,
Yeah.
But it also doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
No, it doesn't.
I think the biggest changes for me in 2018 was moved out of home in May and moved into this apartment with you and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest change, probably. Yeah, and then like a big thing was just like the vacation I went on to Ireland was cool,
Mm-hmm.
and that was back in August.
That was in August?
Which is crazy because that was like 4 months ago now.
Yeah.
And it feels like Andrew and I just got back. So I don't know. It's weird.
That is crazy.
It's really weird. Yeah, what about you? How'd the year go for you?
It went really well, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it was the first full year away from college. So that was cool. First full year away from like any sort of schooling, which is different for both of us because we both graduated. It still feels like relatively we graduated relatively soon, but like it wasn't. It also, I'm kind of getting the hang of it now. It doesn't feel as weird to like not have to do like school stuff.
Yeah, for me, like, because a lot of the people I knew and a lot of the people you knew went back for another year after we graduated.
Yeah.
Like the first 6 months was weird, and then I was fine.
Yeah,
like
same.
This year I didn't miss it at all.
No, yeah.
And really the only reason you miss it when you're done is you have zero responsibility. So it's just easier.
Yeah, honestly,
Life is
yeah.
just easier.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I missed it when I wasn't there. But
Right.
now I'm like over it.
For sure. Because we visited a decent amount in 2017 and in the beginning of 2018 as well. Like visiting our friend Jonah and everything. But like even going back now, like I go back for like campus recruiting stuff for U.S. Bank. But like so the first time I went back, it was like I was going back home almost. Like it was like I knew like a ton of people there. Like I went to the bathroom just randomly and I met like someone I knew and it was really cool.
Yeah.
When I went back recently in like I want to say like September or October, I saw a couple people that I knew, but like they were the only two people that I knew that went there.
Yeah.
you know, like I didn't feel like at home there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, everyone looks like they're 12 now, so there's
Oh
also
man,
that.
I know. It's weird to me because like, yeah, college freshmen seem really young now.
They technically are.
I mean, they are, but they're only like 4 years younger than us.
Yeah, it's true.
Which isn't that much.
No, it really isn't.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What was like the highlight of your year?
I want to say my trip to Iceland that I took in September.
Mm-hmm.
It was the end of September. It was really cool. The first time I've like gone out of the country or even on a plane on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. I highly recommend Iceland to anybody that goes.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What was your favorite thing in Iceland? Because we've both gone. Ratish went this year. I went the year before.
Yeah.
So I think we've seen a lot of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your favorite thing you saw there?
My favorite thing was actually one that you didn't see. It was that mountain that looked like the Soul Stone from Infinity War.
Oh, where it had like there was like the little bit of water like below it that like would reflect.
Yeah, because the sand there is black. So walking on it and like there's like a video of me like on Instagram doing it. It looks like you're walking on water like towards this mountain, and it's called Vestrahorn, I think. And it was that, and then like just around that mountain as well, just like within like I want to say like a really close walking distance. There was like this abandoned like Viking village that people use for film sets.
Yeah.
So we thought it was real. We're like, oh my god, but I found out it was a film set, which makes sense. But still, just like walking around that thing and like like you saw those like horses there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, they had those just like walking around there, so you could go up and like touch them and
That's
everything.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
so that
really
was cool.
cool.
That was probably my favorite part.
Nice.
What about you?
My favorite part was, I forget what waterfall, but it's the one with the trail that goes up behind it.
Oh, Skottafell or something.
Yeah, I think it's like Skoftafell.
Yeah.
And so it's like this big waterfall, but you can walk up to the top of it. And as you walk along like the river that feeds the waterfall, I guess, as you walk on this trail, there's like 23 more waterfalls as you keep walking up.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was so cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think because we went up there, but we had to go make our like Airbnb reservation,
Yeah.
so we couldn't keep going. But I
Yeah.
think I know the trail you're talking about,
Mhm.
where like it just kind of goes behind the mountain, right? And you can
Yeah.
like keep going,
Yeah.
which is super cool. But
Yeah. The other cool thing was, I think you went there. I forget what it's called. It's the national park on the east side.
oh, Thingvellir. No, not Thingvellir, right? Or-
No, that's I think
does it start with a V?
it's Vatnajökull Glacier.
Yes, I don't think I went there.
Well, you had to drive past it.
Yeah,
'Cause,
we
like,
probably did.
Yeah, and there was like a national park there, and it's got that waterfall that has like all like the octagon-shaped rocks coming down behind it.
Oh, okay.
I forget what that's called, but that whole national park was really cool. And one day we were there, and we just started this hike because we wanted to hike up to that waterfall.
Mhm.
But then it turned out there was a trail that like went to the top of this mountain and all the way back down. And we're like, well, let's keep walking. And we hadn't planned on hiking
No.
that much,
Yeah.
but we had all our hiking gear. We just didn't have any food, and we ended up doing like an 8-hour hike.
Oh no.
And we had like we didn't even think about it, but it was super beautiful and like at the perfect day, like no clouds, the sun was out.
Mhm.
We just didn't have any food. Luckily, when you're there, like all the streams and stuff, you can just drink right out of.
Yeah, that's
So like
that's
we
so
just filled
cool.
up our camelbacks whenever we needed to in the
Mhm.
streams, and it
It's
was
like the
awesome.
cleanest water I've ever had.
Oh,
You know, it's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and everyone's like, I was like telling some friends like, "Oh, you better not do that. It's kind of gross." And I'm just like, "No, it wasn't. It was actually pretty cool." So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It like I felt like it was cleaner water than you ever get, even like just here out of the faucet. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
It was the best tasting water ever, which meant it really didn't have a taste. It was just like cold.
it
and
was just
clear.
refreshing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, Iceland highly recommend to anybody that's like looking to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like relatively cheap, I think too. It can be expensive. It depends what you want to do.
It's
but-
expensive. It's cheap to get airfare,
Yep,
and the expensive thing will be like hotels and a car.
I recommend Airbnb all the way though. That's
Yeah.
like you're gonna save so much money if you do that.
You'll save money that way, and hostels are good. I didn't use them when I went because the people I went with didn't want to stay in a hostel. But like, if you don't care, like, and you just want a bed to sleep in, it's probably like $50 a night versus like $150 a night for Airbnb. I
Yeah,
don't really know,
exactly.
but it depends on where you want to stay.
Yeah, I mean, like you're not really there for the hotel. You're there to like see, the wilderness and all that stuff. So really, just like for me at least, the bed was just to sleep in.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. That's the thing is that's the whole reason to go to Iceland is just to see the countryside and like hike. So if you're not into that, like maybe it's not the place for you.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're doing Iceland right, you don't really doesn't really matter where you're sleeping because by the time you're done hiking all day, you'll sleep anywhere. I don't know. That's how
Yeah.
I felt. Yeah. So anyway, what else did you do this year?
Again, like you, I moved out. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting used to like the freedom of like not being in school. Having money is good too. But bills kind of suck, I guess. Like payments
Yeah.
on things.
Paying rent.
Yeah,
Something-
paying rent.
What's funny is that because we were RAs in college, we never had to pay for room and board there really.
Yeah.
Except for maybe 1 or 2 years.
Maybe like the first year.
And then
probably,
like
yeah.
the last year, we didn't have to pay for rent because we were living at home.
Yep.
So like this is like the first time in our life we're like
Paying rent.
paying for where we live.
Yeah, and I was like, this is gross. I hate this. People do this all the time. But yeah, it's whatever. And then the thing I think the thing I missed the most about like 2017, I guess, is like my lifestyle of being around like younger people
Mm-hmm.
and just being around people my own age, which was nice because you kind of get that like I don't know, you get like that youthful
Yeah.
spirit. You can kind of be
Yeah.
yourself more. I have to like walk on eggshells at work sometimes. I feel like I can't.
Can't talk about memes with like the 40-year-old people at
No,
work.
I can't. And like they wouldn't get it. It's a bummer. I can't talk about. Yeah, no.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Yeah, and then I wrote down some movies that we saw this year if we want to talk about that too.
Yeah, what was your favorite one you saw?
Out of 2018, I want to say probably Avengers of all the ones I listed.
Yeah,
I feel like that was the best one.
it was.
Yeah,
It was.
it had to
Infinity
be.
War was just so good.
Yeah.
Because I remember the feeling of the first time I saw it because I had no idea what was really going to happen because they did a pretty good job with the trailers of hiding, you know, how the story was going to go. Like you knew a couple of maybe big plot points like Thanos appearing in Wakanda and stuff,
Yeah.
but they didn't show like how the movie was going to progress. You didn't know
Yeah.
like
And the biggest part of that was they didn't show all the Infinity Stones on Thanos'
Yeah.
hand. So because you didn't know like where he was going to be
Yeah.
at what time.
exactly. So it was like, well, is he in Wakanda at the start and then on Titan, or
Yeah.
you know,
Because I
you didn't
like
really know.
before watching it, I assumed Titan was going to be the last bit. Wakanda was
Yeah,
going to be the
and
first.
so did I. And then
Yeah.
it turned out they were kind of went at the same time, almost,
Yeah, right.
which was interesting. So like I just remember the feeling of going to that movie because I was so excited all day for it. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. It like the feeling of when it started, and you're just like,
And you're just
this
like,
is
oh, here we go.
like Thor is on the ship,
Yeah, it's
just
like,
getting
it's
destroyed.
happening.
And I didn't think the movie was gonna start like that.
No,
like, I didn't
yeah.
know how. Well, we knew it was gonna start there
Yep.
because of the end of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know that it was gonna just be like total
Death.
destruction.
Yeah, and like Loki just getting choked out
Yeah.
and all this other stuff.
Yeah, so I like and then like seeing Loki die right at the start of the film just set the tone of the film. Like, oh, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, like it's
And-
gonna be rough.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
just like at the end of it, just like being like, okay, this is crazy. My mind was blown. I was like, where are they gonna go next?
Yeah.
No idea. And when the Red Skull appeared,
You can tell this story.
so obviously we didn't know the Red Skull was going to be in the movie. He was the villain from the first Captain America movie, and he got sucked up into space, and no one knew where he went, and we had no idea he was going to appear in this one, really. And so he appears on Vormir, or whatever that planet was that Thanos was on, and I got like excited, and Ratisha's sitting next to me. I tried to like grab his leg, be like, dude, look at that. I grabbed his nuts.
It still hurts when it rains. Yeah,
And yeah, so Andrew saw the whole thing.
Yeah,
and
he's all like,
he was
oh, wow.
oh wow. So then when we saw Solo, I jokingly said, "Can I grab your nuts if the Red Skull appears?"
And I said, yeah, sure. If the Red Skull appears, go ahead. You can.
And then at the end of Solo, Darth Maul appears.
In his like hood with his red face, his skull-like face. I was like, wow. So I'm never making that joke again because
Yeah.
now he's just gonna show up and Tom's gonna have to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see what else is on my list. Black Panther was good too.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I really liked it. I watched it again on Netflix like recently, and I think it was honestly, I think it really holds up. I thought it was really good.
I think it holds up. It felt, if you look at the story, like how it goes, it's like, okay, this is just like a generic hero story.
Yeah.
But then if you look at like the theme of it, and like Wakanda was cool, to be honest, I thought it was overhyped.
Mm-hmm.
Especially once I saw Infinity War, and like people were trying to say
yeah.
that like Black Panther is better than Infinity War.
Oh,
I
no.
was like, no.
No.
Like I understand the significance of the movie, and like that's
Yeah.
wonderful, but don't overhype the story because
It's not
it
as good
has
as
cultural
Infinity War.
significance.
Yeah,
you know? But
exactly.
I thought it was a great movie,
Right,
and
right.
like it's refreshing because it wasn't like a big city being destroyed.
It was much more
which I
personal,
felt
yeah.
like Phase 2, I think, because that was when Age of Ultron was.
Yep.
Like
Every movie.
every movie
just,
was just like cities being destroyed, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm getting sick of this.
right.
And
Exactly.
so like that was the nice thing with like Black Panther. It was semi lower stakes, and same
Yep.
thing as Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was
Yeah.
a little lower stakes. It
Honestly,
wasn't, like,
everything in
world-ending.
Phase 3 wasn't really like death and destruction of the whole world. It was very personal, except for Doctor Strange, I guess.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Yeah, and like Civil War was very personal.
Yep. Spider-Man was too. Like it literally like if Spider-Man lost, it wouldn't have really mattered.
Yeah,
You know,
it was just
more
a
just
dude
about him.
trying to steal stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah. For Black Panther, I really enjoyed the villain. I thought he was like I think Marvel like took the criticism that their villain sucked to heart for Phase 3.
which one? Which villain? Killmonger?
Yeah, Killmonger and Claw. I
Yeah.
thought both of them were great.
I was so mad when they killed Claw, though.
I know, he was
because
so
He was
good.
so good, and
Yeah.
he's like Black Panther's main villain, and
Yeah.
Black Panther didn't even kill him.
Right, exactly. So I was like, wow.
Yeah,
I don't know where they're going to go with that.
I'm kind of biased because I love Andy Serkis too.
That's true. Yeah, he's kind of great
like
and everything.
he's great in everything, and I love seeing him like not doing mocap
Yep.
because
Yeah.
it was just cool to see him acting.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't really see that ever, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's the first time I've seen that.
yeah. What was I gonna say? But no, yeah, I was saying that like I think Marvel really took the criticism that their villains sucked to heart for Phase 3 because.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Hela, like she was all right, but like she at least had like a backstory. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna show up and kill you. She was like Thor's sister. Doctor Strange, I guess, yeah, that was just evil Doctor Strange, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Civil War, I thought the villain was great. You know, that was like a really
That was
good.
interesting because he wasn't like a superhero. He was
No,
just like
he was just a guy that
random
like,
dude.
yeah, his family got killed in Sokovia after the
Yeah.
Ultron attack. So he's like, I hate the Avengers. I'm just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's wrong, but whatever. Same with Spider-Man, like that whole twist where
Where the guy was his girlfriend's dad.
yeah, I'm just like, wow.
That was really cool.
I'm surprised Sony didn't reveal that in the marketing. But
Well, honestly, and this sounds so bad, but I don't think anyone would have expected it because the girl was like African American.
Yeah.
And then like the villain was white, so that was the last thing you would have
Yeah, exactly.
thought, which is fair.
because like I didn't believe it even when he opened the door.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what is he just like in her house? Like
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
And I saw the mom and was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really cool twist in that scene where they're in the car and he's talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, that was so
Right?
crazy.
Michael Keaton's so good.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ex-
I think he'll come back. I hope
yeah,
he does.
I hope he does too. I think they're gonna do a Sinister Six, but it also seems like he was more sympathetic to Spider-Man in the jail cell when Scorpion
Yeah.
tries to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because he's all like, if I knew who he was, I'd tell you. But like, he clearly knows who he is. He
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was good. Quiet Place was really good. I remember that.
I almost forgot about that, but that was awesome.
Yeah, I need to watch that again, but I feel like it won't be the same unless I'm like, everything's just completely silent.
Yeah, I
you
think
know?
we'd have to like. I don't want to watch it again in like a big group of people.
No way.
I want to watch
Yeah.
it like lights off, like very few people, and just like quiet and nothing going on.
So I can't eat my bag of Sun Chips while I watch.
No,
It's Quiet
oh
Place.
my god. I just remember how like that was so weird to me how quiet.
I
that
felt
whole
bad
theater
like
was.
sipping my drink.
Yeah, like I had like a
You had,
I had,
like-
like an icy,
Yeah.
and it was audible when I would like drink it through the straw in
Yeah.
the entire theater. You could hear it because like everyone else was quiet and like the screen was quiet. So I just stopped like drinking it. I was like, I feel bad because like this is audible to everyone.
Right. Yeah. There was like a group of people like kind of talking next to us, and it was interesting because I was afraid I was going to tell them to like keep it down.
Yeah.
But apparently they just like got the hint, and that seemed like everyone in the movie
Yeah.
theater did too.
Yeah.
Because you could tell like it wasn't that vibe for like laughing or like freaking out or anything. It's just complete silence to like be immersed. It was really cool.
So then when I went to see that movie with my girlfriend, she decided to get a Potbelly sandwich before it, and we're sitting in the theater. First of all she unwraps the stupid sandwich, and the movie is at the quietest part, which is like the start where they're in like that drugstore and they're all just like signing to each
Oh,
other,
yeah.
and there's no sound at all whatsoever. And she just crunches into like the most crunchy sandwich I've ever heard in my life. And it was so loud. I was like, "Stop! What are you doing?" I was about to leave. I was so embarrassed.
Oh my god. She's gonna be so mad when she hears this.
I've told this story many times.
That's true.
She knows she did it. She was wrong.
Okay, let's see. I also have Solo and Incredibles 2 on the list. Solo was really good, I think. I think everyone like the fact that it didn't make enough money made me sad because I
It
thought
did. It made me really sad.
yeah, like it was so good. I liked it much better than Last Jedi and Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I kind of put those on like on the same scale, but Solo and Rogue One, I think,
Yeah.
for Star Wars, they were really good.
Yeah. And so when I first saw Solo, I was like, "Oh, this was actually really good," and I wasn't excited for it at all. So I kind of thought, well, I just thought it was good because my expectations were so low. But I saw it like 3 times, and
Yeah.
I never got sick of it. Like
No,
it held
same.
up, and
Yeah.
it was really good.
Right? Yeah.
The villain was Paul Bettany's awesome.
I wish he was.
So
I
cool.
wish
I wish he had been
didn't
in
kill
it
him.
more.
Yeah, he was so good.
And then Woody Harrelson, I'm not always the biggest fan, but I really liked him in it.
He's like so sleazy, but I guess like it's a testament to his acting ability because like that's who he plays.
Yeah,
So that's kind of how I
yeah.
see him. But
And then the guy who played Solo, like Han Solo, I was like,
I still don't really see him as Harrison Ford, to be completely
no,
honest.
like he doesn't look like him, but it didn't take me out of the movie.
No, it didn't.
Like I expected it to be so bad that like I was like, well, this isn't Han Solo, like and
Yeah.
that ruined the whole movie. But like I ended up being fine with it.
Mhm. Yeah, me too.
And I think he did a really good job with some of his mannerisms. He
I think he
didn't
got the
really
voice down, I
He got
thought.
the voice down a little
Yeah.
bit, but I mean Harrison Ford obviously is
It's
a little
iconic.
more
Yeah.
gravelly.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like it didn't ruin it. It wasn't that
No.
big of a deal.
I think the movie would have been really like it would have set apart from everything. I think it would have been a really big hit if they didn't make it about Han Solo. You know, they could have like
Yeah.
taken out kind of the references and just kind of made it about some like smuggler and just put it like in the Star Wars universe because no one really wanted a Han Solo movie. There was animosity towards it when like since
Yeah.
the moment they announced
Yeah.
it. and like there was all this like rumor surrounding the production and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, I think from what everyone's expectations were, I think it was really good.
Yeah, I think
I think
like
it subverted expectations actually.
why did my son do this? Oh, we gotta stop making like obscure references.
Yeah, we can't do that.
I honestly think like with the inclusion of Darth Maul though that it's gotta be something that they were like wanting to set up for Obi-Wan
I
because they
think they
knew
will.
everyone wanted Obi-Wan, so they
Yeah.
had to have had plans for it, and if they didn't, they're ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Because everyone wants an Obi-Wan movie.
Yeah,
with
even
Ewan
like
McGregor.
Ewan McGregor came out. He's like, "Yeah, I'll do one if they ask
Yeah.
me." They just haven't. It's like,
Yeah.
well, get on it, Disney. It's like
Yeah.
free money.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah. Let's see.
Incredibles 2, I honestly didn't.
It was all right.
It was all right. It was not as good as I hoped for, and when I rewatched it, it didn't hold up very well.
It's something I probably will not buy on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Like unlike the other ones, I probably will.
Yeah, it just like the villain could have been great, but it turned out to be meh.
Yeah.
And the new heroes were kind of meh.
Yeah, they were kind of lame. They were just kind of like gimmicks, and that was it.
Well, and they were like, "Look at us, we're quirky."
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was like they all had to be like, one was like super ugly, one had like green hair.
yeah.
It was like, okay, cool. Are there normal superheroes?
Yeah, right. Is like the Parr family the only normal?
I don't know.
ones?
Like,
Yeah.
because like if you look back at the Incredibles 1 and like all the superheroes that they show in that like died, it was like, oh, those all look like really
Yeah.
cool, and I'd love to see like a story about them.
Right.
But then these ones are all just like,
Weird.
eh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, like watching it, I was like, yeah, this is good, I guess, but it didn't hold a candle to the first one, to be completely honest.
yeah,
But yeah, and like I said, I wouldn't buy it on Blu-ray. I didn't think it was that good. It was
Yeah.
good, but it wasn't like
they honestly could have
spectacular.
done more with the Underminer too, because like
Yeah.
everyone was kind of expecting that, so it was nice
Mhm.
that they at least acknowledged it and had it in the start of the film.
Yeah.
But to me, he was like more of a compelling villain than what the villain ended up to be, and like I don't
Yeah.
even know anything about him. Like,
Right,
you know?
exactly, yeah. And like yeah, like you said with the villain, they could have developed it more. Like that little monologue he had when like Elastigirl was trying to like get to him,
Yeah,
and he was like talking about just like people and like being on their screens too much. I thought that would have been really really cool just
Yeah.
to like see like explore that, but they didn't really do anything
yeah,
with that.
yeah.
So
Should we move on from movies a little bit?
yeah, sure. Let's see. What was your biggest? I don't know if we like discussed this, but what was your biggest takeaway from this year? I guess like we can just like summarize the whole year.
Well, like one thing that I did this year was work on like better discipline, and I think I achieved that by the end of the year, that I feel like I'm more disciplined than I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I didn't really think about it before we
Yeah,
sat
that's a
down.
good point.
Yeah.
I actually wrote down notes for all this, but yeah, so for me, I think the biggest takeaway was like, for me personally, I feel like I realized that most people's opinions don't really matter 90% of the time. Like it's nice to have like that validation or have like some sort of like constructive criticism, but most
Yeah.
of the time it's really just like noise, you know? Like someone might tell you something and you might get like offended or like disagree with it, but at the same time, like it's their opinion. Like it shouldn't
Well,
like affect you that
It
much.
shouldn't affect you that much.
Yeah.
And especially when it's like someone who's giving you like their opinion on something that they know nothing about, and
Oh,
you know they
yeah.
know nothing about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, so someone is trying to give you like, let's say financial advice, but they're as broke as you. It's like, well, why should I be taking your advice? Like,
yeah,
you can't
exactly.
help me.
Yeah, and
Like-
and there's nothing wrong with just being polite and being like, okay, cool, and then
Yeah.
just like not following it.
Exactly.
You don't have to.
Yeah. But you also don't have to be like
A jerk about it.
a jerk about it.
Yeah.
Like, well, I disagree with you and screw you. Like,
yeah, you're poor. Like, you can't say
yeah,
that.
no, you don't do that. But it's
Yeah.
like you got to learn to take opinions from people who can actually help you and
Mhm.
like, or actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest with you, most of the stuff I have an opinion on, I know I don't know enough about to really debate someone who knew something about the topic.
Exactly.
So don't try.
Yeah, right.
And like, that's when you start getting into like arguments where you start personally attacking people instead of actually talking about the issue, because you don't know anything about the issue.
Yeah.
So you can't talk about the issue. So all
Right.
you have to do is attack the other person because you disagree with them, and
Yeah.
it's just stupid.
Yeah.
If,
It's not
If people
productive.
just learn to say, I don't know enough about this topic to really formulate my opinion and debate you about it, so let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
It's
we
like-
could at a later date if we can do some research. But
Exactly.
there's no reason to like put yourself in that situation
You're just gonna
And
get angry.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no reason, like, again, like, to reiterate, there's no reason to get angry at someone or get angry about someone that says something to you about you when they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like, it's like you have to like kind of value each opinion on its own and like determine if it's actually worth like listening or following.
Yeah. For sure.
Which is hard to do because like if you get like a bunch of people telling you something that you know is not true,
Yeah.
then you know it's hard to.
It's hard.
Yeah,
But like if you know it's true, you kind of got to stand your ground.
that's
It's-
true. Yeah,
And that's hard to do though when like
Mhm.
there's so many people like, well, everyone's telling me this, so it must be true. Well, that's not always the case.
Yeah, it's not
you
always
know?
the case at all. But yeah. Okay, so that's 2018. I was thinking we could talk about 2019 goals and predictions and like, you know, stuff like that.
So I haven't written down New Year's resolutions this year, and I normally do, but I don't think I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
because one, I think I'm kind of on track for the things I want to do. Like usually it's fitness,
Yep.
which everyone does for like January and then quits.
Dude, the gym is going to be so busy.
Right? I
The
know.
first week. It's going to suck.
Lifetime loves January.
Oh my God.
All the new subscriptions.
Yeah.
But like, so I heard someone say back last year sometime that if it was really important to you, you wouldn't wait for the turn of the calendar year to start doing it.
Yes.
So like, I think that's like a very good. I don't know. That's just like New Year's resolution. That's why people never follow through on their New Year's resolutions. Is because it was actually important to them, they would have already been doing it, and because it's not important to them, they don't follow through.
Yeah.
And you either need to make it more important to you, and start now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's December 21st.
It doesn't matter the date. Just
It doesn't
you
matter
know,
the date.
Yeah.
If there's something you go, well, this is going to be my New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to take another 10 days and screw around, then it's not really important to you.
Yeah,
So don't wait
exactly.
for January 1st. Either
Right.
start now or, I mean, I don't want to say don't say that's your resolution. Because, like,
Yeah.
I actually love that about people that,
Mhm.
like, every year. So I don't want to be negative about New Year's resolutions either, because I actually really like them. I think they're really cool because it's
Mhm.
like the hopefulness of the human spirit to say, well, this year's going to be better.
Yeah. Exactly.
And like every year, like even though like last year, like, okay, maybe I didn't do as good as I wanted to, and like my
Mhm.
finances aren't where I want them to be, or whatever went wrong the year before in 2018,
just turns around.
it's like this year it's going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is what I'm going to do to make it better. And that's really cool because
Yeah.
like the other alternative is just to give up.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's something you have to keep in mind when you feel like you want to give up. Like for me, it's like sometimes I feel like, oh, let's say I'm working out and I don't see the results that I
Yeah.
want as fast. I have to like have a conversation with myself and be like, okay, well, I could give up and just lose all the progress, or I could keep going and realize that this isn't really hurting me. It's actually helping me,
Yeah.
even if it's not as fast as I want.
Exactly.
So there's like some kinks you can work out, but you should still, you know, focus on that goal to see if you can do it.
kinks.
Kinks. Okay.
No, that's true
Yeah.
though. Like it's so easy to get discouraged, especially with something like working out, where it's something where you're not going to see results right away.
No,
like
you
it's-
won't.
And it takes so much longer to see results than you want it to,
Mm-hmm.
or than you think it's going to. Yeah. So like, discipline and consistency are just huge in a lot of areas of life, like
Yeah.
fitness, health, really anything. It's like
Right.
your finances. If you're on a budget, you got to be consistent to the budget. Like 1 month where you go off your budget, you're screwed. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
and it's hard to get back on
Yeah.
and budget
exactly.
again.
Yep.
So like everything is just about consistency
Mm-hmm.
and staying committed to what you said you were going to do.
Right. Yeah, and like for as far as New Year's resolutions goes, it doesn't mean like we said, it doesn't mean like, oh, if you don't do it, then you don't care. It's like, no, it's not really that at all. It's more just
Yeah.
like you just have to be in, like, it goes back to what we said in our first podcast. You know, you have to be like intentional about
Yeah,
it and like
yeah.
actually have discipline and like doing the things that you say you want to do. You know, it
Yeah.
just takes a lot of intentionality and a lot of like discipline to actually get it done.
I think the big thing though is just to like find a way to be honest with yourself when you're making your resolution and
Mhm.
don't expect it to be easier than it's going to be, because then you'll get discouraged.
Yeah.
Like the
And even
second
if-
week you're
yeah.
like, oh, well, this
Yeah.
is a lot harder, or this doesn't feel good.
And even if it's like a really
Yeah.
small goal, like at least it's something that you can accomplish.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like the biggest thing I always want to tell people is like, don't listen to anyone that's like, oh, that's such a small goal. Like, because more often than not, that person that has like nothing planned for themselves.
They either have nothing planned for themselves,
Yeah.
or they like, you have to make sure that your goals are reachable.
Yep.
like
realistic,
realistic,
yeah.
attainable, but also challenge you.
Yeah.
Like if they don't challenge you at all, then it's not really going to help you grow in that area. But if it's too much, you'll just discourage yourself. So you got to make sure that it's like just the right size of goal, that it's attainable, but it pushes you.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes a lot more thinking than just going, okay, this year I'm going to work out. This year I'm going to eat better. Like
have
how?
like
How are you
have
gonna
like
do that?
guidelines. You should like write it down.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, for my goals, I actually wrote them down today at work. Let's see. Something I want to focus on. These aren't really like, these are just thoughts I had. So they're not like, I haven't like measured them out yet. I'm doing that this weekend. But something I'd want to do is making better use of my time. Something I really want to do as well is trying to meet new people and friends, because not that I don't have like an abundant amount.
Ratish doesn't want to be friends with us anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying basically. Not that I don't have like an abundant number of friends or anything, but like I really miss making like new ones. Like, you know, in college, like every month you would make like new friends.
Yeah, just
you
like
know?
meet new people in different classes or different events.
Exactly. So I want to be more intentional about that. Being more positive as well. And this is one thing I really want to be held accountable for. So everyone listening, you have to do this for me. I've been actually working on a story for the past like year, I think, just like a book almost. So I really want to like, I'm gonna see if I can finish it this year.
We'll tweet at you every day. Ratish, finish your book.
Yeah, basically.
Don't be George Martin.
Yeah, right.
10 years later.
Yeah. 10 years later, I wrote another page, and that's it.
But I hated the whole thing, so I deleted it.
But yeah, no, that's something I really want to try and do. I want to try and finish this book, at least have a first draft done, you know, from start to finish.
Yeah.
So like, if you know me, just like ask me about it, so I have to tell you about
What's
it.
it about?
Not to get into like too many details.
Yeah, I know
yet.
you don't want to. Like, it's all like I've written before too, and like
Yeah.
whenever someone asks me that, I'm like, well, I don't really want to talk about it until I have it like totally fleshed out.
Yeah,
like, in my
exactly.
mind. But like, what's the general?
Yeah, it's a sci-fi book. It's about this dystopian future where the government is they've employed robots and like mechs or drones to like do their enforcement basically. So it's kind of in that set in that world.
Yeah.
However, the twist or like the different thing I have in mind is that the robots aren't necessarily like bad. They're just kind of, they have like consciousness, which I'll get into like more in the book. You have to read it to find out. But to like they have consciousness, so they're not necessarily like, oh, we're just here to like, you know, kill humans. They have like they have their own side to it too.
Okay.
Yeah, the protagonists are human, but I'm gonna try and have like a robot in
So
there
the
too.
robots kind of like have their own motivation because they have their own consciousness. So they're not like just like controlled by the government. They actually have kind of like their own agenda a little bit too.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so one aspect I have of it is like where the robots will employ these, or the governments will employ these robots, and once they're done with them, they'll just kind of release them back into the world because they don't want to be perceived as like destroying consciousness.
Yeah.
So the robots, when they're released back into the world, they don't have any memory of like all the stuff they did while they were with the government.
Yeah.
So humans like naturally hate them because they see that and they're like, oh, look at that, you know, like you ruined my life and all this other stuff.
Are the robots going to look very humanoid, or are they gonna?
It's gonna be. They're not gonna look humanoid.
Okay.
They're gonna have like they're gonna look like, you know, they're gonna have a head and arms and all this stuff, but they're not gonna be like.
But they're not
androids.
indistinguishable.
No, nothing
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But the robots, you'll just find out basically that they want to be left alone, essentially. So it's going to play to like that dynamic and like how humans kind of hate these robots. And the robots are like, well, it's not really our fault, like all this other stuff. So yeah, there's like more to it. But yeah, that's the thing I'm working on, and I want to try and finish it before the end of the year.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds really good.
Yeah. Then
in that future, are children still playing Fortnite?
that's the reason that it's a dystopia, because you just one too many dabs and Fortnite dances just caused this to happen. Government's like, we got to stop. We got to put a stop to this.
Jake Paul ruined the world.
Jake and Logan Paul came in and just like, that's the reason I'm gonna talk about in the prologue.
It's actually now called Paulmerica.
Yeah, we elected Logan and Jake as president and vice president, and yeah, we just, you know, that's what happened. So,
Oof.
yeah,
As long as KSI wasn't the ruler of China, we'd be fine.
that'd be wild. Okay, and then we could talk about. I was thinking predictions too.
Yeah.
These we can have like kind of fun with this.
What's happening in 2019? What's the big stuff that's supposed to happen?
I don't know. I just know a lot of movie news, but other than that, like, I think Avengers will make the most money ever. Probably.
I hope so.
It's gonna make a lot of money for sure.
I think it'll beat Infinity War for sure.
Yep.
I hope it beats out Avatar because I don't think Avatar deserves it anymore.
No, yeah, it's been a while. They need to.
Yeah, well, it was just like it was a cool movie when it came out, and like yeah, when it came out, the graphics were incredible, but now graphics have gotten even better.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like
Well,
maybe you
he's-
can have it again when Avatar 2 finally comes out,
Yeah.
and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5.
He keeps threatening to release those to us, and he just won't.
It's gonna be 2020.
I can't
Zoe
wait.
Saldana said she finished filming all her stuff for it.
Wow. How
so
many did she film for?
I think they filmed 2 and 3 together, but I don't know
Okay.
for sure.
All right, that'll be interesting.
But it's actually like we're gonna be. I'm actually excited for it to like see what they'll do.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch the first one first.
Yeah.
Of all.
Oh, I do too.
But like, because apparently they're gonna explore more of that world, and like the tribes have like different areas. Like there's like the Sea Tribe and whatever.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So like they're gonna like that's why he was filming the Marianas Trenches because they're gonna be doing like underwater stuff.
Wow.
And like so that'll be really cool to see what they do.
And James Cameron is still heavily involved in it, so that's why I kind of do have faith in it because he's
Well, he's the main one driving it. I feel.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So
and like
he's-
that's the whole
yeah.
reason he went down in like that submarine, like as the deepest anyone's ever gone into like
Yeah.
the Marianas Trench, and like.
and like everything James Cameron has done, I feel like has been really good. So I
Did
feel
he
like
do Titanic? Too?
yeah, he did
Okay.
Titanic, he did Terminator 2, the first Avatar.
Okay.
So he knows what he's doing.
He's got a lot of the top spots.
Yeah, exactly. But
Um,
I don't know. Do you think the superhero bubble for movies will burst?
it's not a bubble.
You don't think so?
No, it's not a bubble. It's as long as they can keep a story interesting, no one cares that it's a superhero movie.
That's true. I don't know. I feel
Like,
like
I'm sick of superhero movies. Well,
Yeah,
what are
don't
you gonna
want-
have
yeah.
a non-superhero movie? Because every movie is just a hero movie with someone that doesn't have
right.
you know has a different special power and maybe isn't called a superhero.
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter is a superhero movie where their superpower is magic.
That's true. That's a good point.
You
I hadn't
know,
thought of it that way.
Star Wars is the same way. Like
Yeah.
the Jedi are superheroes.
Right.
You know.
They're essentially just like sci-fi movies that have like different elements to them and that happen to be about
Exactly,
superheroes.
and because
Yeah.
every hero has like different powers and stuff, like I think they'll keep them interesting for a while.
Mhm.
So
I'm
I don't think it's
wondering-
going to
yeah.
get to the point. Like it's never going to get to the point unless they do a horrible job with the stories
Yep.
that they start losing money. They will
Yeah.
always make money on those movies. Like, and that's like the thing. Like the reason DC has been failing is
Mhm.
not because people are sick of superhero movies.
not
Because
at
Marvel's still doing great. It's because they wrote bad stories.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bubble. I don't. And when people talk about it that way, I don't get that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting superhero fatigue. Well, no, you're
No.
not. You're just like you're not interested in the stories anymore.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
fine. Like,
right.
and that's how I felt in phase 2. Like when we were
Mhm.
talking about where like cities were just being destroyed. Well,
Yeah.
I was kind of getting sick of it at that point. 'Cause
Me
I was
too.
like, well, I'm just sick of seeing a city get destroyed. But they
Yeah.
changed it up for
Yeah,
phase
they
3,
did.
and I was excited about it again.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't think that's an issue. And even if it does become an issue, I think it'll be like another 5 years.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bubble. I think I could see what would happen is maybe after Avengers 4, I could maybe see like some things go down because I could see
Yeah.
people being like, okay, you know what, this is a good stopping point because the
Mhm.
way they're, like it's called Endgame, like the
Yeah.
title. It's, they're
And
this
they're
is the end
meaning
of
it to
everything.
be the end of the story of the original 5 or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So it makes me wonder if there might be like a slight like decrease in sales for like the next
Yeah,
next phase.
yeah.
I don't see it like stopping ever though.
No, well, that's my thing is like they have so many heroes they can keep doing.
Mm-hmm. They have the
and-
rights to everyone essentially now because they got
And now
Fox.
that here's
yeah.
well, and that's the other thing is I don't think we're gonna have an issue with like sales going down because they got so many new characters now. They got all the X-Men stuff. They got all the Fantastic Four stuff.
Yep.
Um,
X-Men have so many stories that people like don't even know about.
Yeah.
They're so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about some stuff? I gotta step away on a phone call quick.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Let's see. So my predictions for 2019, I felt like space travel might be a major breakthrough. Might have a major breakthrough. I don't know why, but it feels like there's been things that have been building a lot, to make it, to have it progress to maybe we'll have like some big discovery in 2019. That's what I think. With like ice being found on Mars. I heard about that today. Today being the 20th of December, it came out today, the news. I have a hope. This is less of a prediction, but more of a hope, and we can talk about this more when Tom gets back. But I'm hoping that another video streaming platform shows up just to compete against YouTube, because I think YouTube is good as far as like giving people what they want, but with the recent, YouTube Rewind that came out, people were kind of upset with how they're perceiving themselves and how they think they're perceived, whereas how their platform actually is. But yeah, so we can talk about that more now that Tom's back.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
What were we talking about?
Just predictions in 2019. I talked about how this is a hope, less of a prediction, that YouTube would get a competitor in a streaming platform.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah, just because like they're essentially running a monopoly. There's like no competitor to them, so that's why they're doing whatever they want, and that's why a lot of their like policies and systems they're just not fixing, because like where else is everyone going to go?
Yeah, and like it was nice that gamers were able to move kind of to Twitch, but then it sounds like Twitch is kind of having the same issue as YouTube now. That it's like cracking down, censoring, and like whatever you think about that, it's just like that's not the purpose of the platform. And like if someone says something you don't like on the platform, you can just choose to ignore them.
Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't reflect the platform as a whole. It reflects that person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think the thing I missed the most about YouTube, like when I was with my friends yesterday, we watched the new YouTube Rewind because no one had seen it, and we're like, wow, this sucks. Like we don't know anybody on here.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, that was the best part. But we also watched the one from 2012, and that one was like, that one was really good.
Was that the first one?
No, I don't think so. I think there was.
Which one was the one with Rebecca Black?
I think that might have been before that.
Was 2011 maybe the first one?
It could have been.
I don't know.
But 2012,
2012
was the one with like Gangnam Style, and it had just like. This was like before like all these big YouTubers had like companies backing them. It was more just about the individual creators. So I think people kind of want to go back to that, and I think that'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I really have for predict. I don't know if you have anything, but
I don't know. I just think I don't think you can predict what's going to happen anymore in the world. Like I'm trying to think like governmentally, I have no idea what's going to happen.
Oh, I didn't.
And I don't even really want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, because there are a lot of discussions about like the stuff that like Facebook and Google have been doing.
Yeah. There could be more regulations passed. I don't know.
There could be. Not that I don't know how I feel about that either. But like I also I'm not a fan of those companies. So.
Yeah, no.
Like everyone says Google's got a monopoly, but have you heard of Bing?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Have you heard of Ask Jeeves? Come on.
No, I think there are some issues like with those companies, but I don't know. I think especially like the YouTube stuff, I think they're realizing that the stuff they're doing is really hurting them. Yeah. And I think eventually they'll straighten out a little bit.
What, YouTube?
Yeah, stuff like that. Like those companies knowing, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know enough to really make any predictions about stuff. So.
Right. I think for YouTube, I don't think this is my personal opinion. I don't know if they're going to straighten out until like an actual competitor comes on the scene, because they really don't need to.
No, they don't need to, but I think like there was enough outcry that
for Rewind at least?
For Rewind at least, but like in general, there's just been more and more that like, okay, so you're gonna ignore PewDiePie completely, your biggest star on the platform,
essentially,
and you're gonna ignore him completely because 2 years ago someone ran a hit piece on him.
Yeah, like, exactly.
And that like, people are so dumb that can't understand a joke anymore.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, I don't want to get into it, but like, making like Hitler jokes, maybe not very tasteful, but I think our generation is so desensitized to that stuff because we didn't grow up through it.
No, exactly.
That like, yeah, it's edgily funny to us.
Yeah,
like ha 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 ha, Nazi joke, ha 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 ha. That's taboo, so that's funny. Yeah, it's childish.
Yeah,
but it's not saying that you're a Nazi.
Yeah, and my whole thing with the PewDiePie stuff, at least the first one, was like, I can understand why Disney dropped him, because Disney's not about that at all.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of it just like YouTube not recognizing him and a lot of other YouTube stars that are really high up there that kind of tell more edgy jokes that they don't really want to be part of their platform, even though most of the audience seems to be gravitating towards that. Because let's be honest, most of like the audience on YouTube is like kids, you know, and they eat that stuff up.
Yeah.
I think that if YouTube really wanted to listen to the community, they would actually have those creators on like YouTube Rewind and stuff. But I don't think they will. So.
Well, they're interested in pushing an agenda, and that's what
true.
they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
But like the funny thing to me is that they'll totally ignore PewDiePie. But before the Suicide Forest stuff, they were like totally embracing Logan and Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And some of their videos honestly were worse than the Suicide Forest.
They
thing.
were so they were like horrible.
They were a horrible example to children.
Yeah.
And they're just running around being dicks to people.
Yeah.
And you're gonna celebrate that on your platform?
Yeah, like they were Jake and Logan were in like the last they're in the last Rewind, and that was like during a lot of their controversies and stuff, you know? And like people were like, "Oh, they love the fact that like Logan and Jake were like the face of their platform," but like it's not good.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like honestly, I think they're a lot more damaging to kids than PewDiePie.
Merch.
Right,
Buy
yeah,
that.
like
dude, it's the Christmas season. Did they bring out a new Christmas album?
I don't know.
I
don't
hope
know
they
if
did.
have.
I hope we get more Christmas music from Jake Paul.
Oh god. Yeah, they're just like, you know, like pandering to kids like, "Hey, tell your mom like buy my stuff." Like
yeah,
that,
if you
that's
don't buy
not
my
good.
backpack, you won't be cool at school.
Yeah, right.
Send back all those other presents you got. Those are trash. Buy my merch.
Is this a bad time to tell you that I got you a Logan Paul sweatshirt for Christmas?
I would just feel honored to be a maverick.
Yeah, no, I'm more of a Jake Pauler myself.
I'm gonna wear it to work.
I mean, he gets fired.
Sir, is that Logan Paul merch?
All
yes,
right.
it is.
Okay, you can clean
Pack
out your
your
desk.
things.
Yeah. That's all I have, I think.
Yeah, I think that was some good stuff.
Yeah. On that note.
On that note, I have a date, so I gotta go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right,
Thanks
bye,
for
everybody.
listening.
Thanks for listening. Hopefully, you guys have a great Christmas, great holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, and you're offended by that, or you're offended that I didn't say Christmas, but I did say Christmas, so don't be offended by that either.
We've covering all our bases.
And Happy New Year.
It's a little bit of
unless
everything
this
on this
isn't your new
podcast.
year, then happy day of the 31st. And
I hope you have a good life.
yeah, just have a good next 2 weeks while you're off for no particular reason.
Yes.
Hopefully, you're off work a little bit.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Wow.
Great. All right.
All
Bye.
right. See you guys.